All right, so I don't even know, like basically the Michael the Michael Rubin situation with Lil Baby and all that shit. I really don't know, but Lil Baby has been getting clown for that, and Meek Mill has been getting clown for that. I think Drake's a little bit too. But let me hear this. I need to see this.
Oh, Michael Rubin. A lot of times, the nerdy.
But the thing is, nobody even know. I promise you, if everybody took all the people took a picture with him. If none of them took a picture with him, I wouldn't know who Michael Rubin is. I still really don't even know who Michael Rubin is.
Whites, they want to partner up with the kids at the pool table. Snoop told a story one time where he said the dudes from Uber was with Suge, and they begged Suge to come introduce them to Snoop. These dudes be going to Seed Capital. I just want to be around Kevin Durant. I want to be around Nas. I want to be around all of these cool people that I grew up on. I was the nerdy dude. Now I got enough money to mesh with them.
Everyone knows that money rules the world, and the rap game is no exception to that rule. But the puppet master behind many iconic artists is a truly sinister and creepy man. Michael Rubin is an industry tycoon, and his name really started circulating along with this embarrassing clip of gangster rapper Meek Mill, as some of you may recall, where bro was literally bunny hopping like an absolute psychopath on camera.
Why are you doing bunny hops, Meek? Because you got your ass beat in tennis. You got your ass beat. Keep going.
Stop. That was so cringe. I can't.
First favorite billionaire, orchestrating a large network of young black talents across hip-hop and even sports. Even the likes of 50 Cent have been seen clowning rappers close to Michael Rubin. From the outside looking in, it seems like a pretty good idea to associate yourself with a billionaire, as there are countless benefits being tied to such wealth. But the quote-unquote benefits that Michael Rubin comes with tend to be questionable at best.
Don't be making fun of me when I'm drunk. You're gonna get another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You too. Drunken hugs are coming tonight.
It's your boy Luesta, and today we're gonna unpack
drunken hugs
hold that Michael Rubin has on hip-hop culture. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we gotta understand his origins in the world of hip-hop and the power that he holds outside of the game that you'll see extends farther than anyone really knows. With 11 big B's to his name, it's hard to imagine Michael Rubin ever starting off with humble beginnings, but that's exactly how the story goes. Like many kids, he started shoveling snow when he was only 8 years old, and by the time he was 12, he had a ski repair shop that eventually raked in $125K a year. His keen eye for business carried into adulthood, and perhaps his most important money move came in an early investment with Fanatics, the top sports merchandise company in the entire world. This wasn't a one-off expense though. Rubin loved sports, and he eventually was inspired to purchase the Philadelphia 76ers and became its most popular owner, despite sharing the team with several others. And it was courtside at a Philly game where he met the gangster rapper Meek Mill, fresh off the scene after coming up with moving and raw bars like these.
Some summer nights can even turn cold. In the streets of Philly where niggas don't even get to turn old. My heart pumping to it turn gold.
The two men were from completely different worlds, but they would end up having far more in common than one would expect. And they would begin to bond over sports, business, and more. As conversation continued, no one would expect the can of worms that was about to burst open from this single interaction. And it would change the course.
I'm gonna say this. I think Michael Rubin is like the sole reason why we don't take and P Diddy the sole reason. Those two are the sole reason why we don't take Meek Mill seriously no more. They played a part, and I ain't gonna lie.
Course of modern rap entirely.
So my daughter was just talking to Nikki, and Meek's like, you know, in his way, he's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, you know, the Sixers guy. No. And then within a second, what I loved about Meek from the moment I met him, he just started peppering me with business questions. Like, hey, if I want to do this, how would you do that? And if I want to do this in sports, and if I want to put this deal together. In a lot of ways, he was a similar version of me from a completely different environment.
They continued to meet a few times as a friendship was truly beginning to form, and in their talks, Rubin would eventually learn about Meek Mill's ongoing legal struggle.
One night, maybe we'd hung out at the games maybe 10 times, and we were at halftime, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I said, hey, I'm going with some friends to the Brigada afterwards. You want to come? He said, I'm not allowed. I'm like, do you need permission from your mom? It's literally what I said to him. I said, you need permission from your mom? I was joking. I was being a wise ass. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm on probation. I'm like, how's this probation thing work? He's like, I'm not allowed to leave. You can't go across the bridge 10 minutes He's like, I'm not allowed. I'll get arrested. I'm like, what'd you do again?
You see, Meek Mill was under serious pressure from a 2007 incident involving a case where he was locked up for illegal firearm and possession. He got 2 years behind bars.
2007, and he's still getting held on that?
When his probation period was supposed to expire, a hard-ass judge continued to hold him on a legal leash. And things would not change for him as he grew older, even though his rap career was flourishing. In 2017, Meek picked up more probation charges for popping Willie and getting mixed up in an airport brawl, violating his current restrictions. And when Michael heard about his new friend's struggle and realized it was a problem on the judge's end, he decided to step in.
I'm not gonna say who I called. I started calling people of importance to find out, is everything he's telling me true? Like, I was hearing all I was hearing was everyone loves him, but he's got this crazy judge. But you know what? I want to make sure I'm always on guard. If you're in my situation, you're always. And so I kept getting back. He's done everything he's been asked from a probation perspective. You know, he's well liked. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a little bit on rap time sometimes, but this is a good guy. You know, he's doing lots of charitable things. I wrote this letter, which I never thought it would become public. It became very public. I wrote this letter and basically talked about my relationship with him. I basically said, like, look, this has become one of my closest friends. Like, you know, he knows my daughter well, he knows my mom, you know, he knows, all of my, partners in the Sixers.
Despite Rubin's letter and his appearance in court during the hearing, the judge still sentenced Meek to 2 to 4 years in prison. This was a shocking verdict considering everyone involved had strongly recommended against prison time, including the parole officer. It was abundantly clear that the judge had a vendetta against the young Philly native, but lucky for Meek, he had a billionaire friend in his corner.
But that's the thing is, bro. You do something so from long time, 2007, a judge still on you, bro. Like the judge is like one person. It takes one person to ruin your whole life from a mistake in 2007. What?
Ring.
I look at Meek and he always wants to be this tough guy. His eyes turn pink. There's tears coming out of his eyes. I can't remember the last time anything made me tear up. I have tears coming out of my eyes, and I looked at him. I'm like, I will not stop until you're out of prison and she's off the bench.
And that's exactly what he sought out to do, pouring over $6 million alongside Jay-Z to hire the best investigators and lawyers to fight for Meek's freedom. And to Millie, it meant the world.
You're now sitting in an orange jumpsuit and you're still smiling from ear to ear. I don't get it. Like he said, if it were me, I'd be so mad. How are you happy? Meek sat there. He thought about it for like a minute. He said, Robert, I've been sent to prison 3 times for never committing a crime. This is my entire life. I've been in and out of this thing my entire life. This is the first time people are fighting for me. You're here to see me today. Michael's been here 20 times. There's a crusade to free Meek. This is the first time that's happened.
All that effort was worth it in the end, as the judge would eventually get revealed to be super corrupt, even beyond the courtroom. Aside from multiple weird cases on her end, she was also secretly spying on Meek and even demanded he drop her name in a song. Some pretty strange behavior, but the real win in all this was for Michael Rubin, who was quickly being hailed as a model billionaire and culture icon. He kept riding this wave when he established the Reform Alliance with Jay-Z to combat legal system failures.
We said we're gonna get 1 million people that are on probation or parole that shouldn't be out of the system. There was 4.5 million people at the time. This is 3.5 years ago. We've already cleared a pathway for 650,000 people that are on probation or parole to get out earlier from the laws that we've changed.
Michael Rubin was officially a hip-hop namesake, and the idea of having a rich white billionaire friend started sounding real good to young up-and-coming artists, especially this genuine, caring dude.
Let's keep this real. When you're financially successful, it's easy to give money away. Okay, I give lots of money away. That's easy. What's hard is
you get some money to me. You get some money to me. If it was that easy, Mike, I'm your guy. I'm your guy,
But it wouldn't take long for the more sinister intentions of the richest man in rap to emerge from the most unseeming shadows. And it was too late for those that flocked to him.
The friendship with Lil Baby, what was it about him and your guys' rapport that sort of connected you?
He's a great guy.
Baby is absolutely one of the best human beings in the planet. There's never been a thing I've asked him to help with, from a charitable perspective with the Reform Alliance. There's never been anything. He's just such a great human being. I love his work ethic. When you hear his story, and I don't know anything about music, so when I met him the first time with Drake in the Bahamas in 2020, And he's telling me a story about, he was in jail a couple years earlier. He never rapped, and now he's got this great, kind of music career. You just want to root for the guy.
Rubin's new influence pulled in big names: Lil Baby, Travis Scott, and Quavo, to name a few. Successful people hang out. It made sense at the time, especially given Michael's recent investment into Meek Mill. But a noticeable pattern began to emerge in these relationships that made people question his intentions.
Why are you doing bunny hops, Meek? Because you got your ass beat in tennis.
Oh my God.
Count out loud. Count out loud. Keep going. Keep going. Don't cheat on your bunny hops. They suck. Your bunny hops suck. You got 250 more to go.
Super weird dynamic, and the internet exploded when they saw what was going on. Bro, this is some house slave type shit. I'm gonna hop for you, massa. When he lost, he went straight to hopping too. Man, the rap game is nothing but a modern day plantation. I discussed the situation in much more detail in my video about how Meek Mill destroyed his career. But one takeaway from that video is that this was all weird behavior for a man like Meek Mill. A respected street artist who really portrays the image of a gangster. It just felt really weird for him to do something like this. And due to all the negative publicity he was receiving, Meek Mill tried to explain that this was a game played in prison. But of course, that only got him flamed even more.
Someone tweeted at him, how much did they pay you to do this? This is the first time he's addressed it. Keep in mind, there's all these Diddy rumors about Meek. There's this, what I believe to be a fake audio about Meek and Diddy engaging in some wrestling for the cereal like he used to do with like he said he used to. People have this assumption that Meek is doing zestivities with Diddy or potentially gay. I don't believe that. So he says, this is a game I started from prison. We used to make killers do bunny hops when they lost because it was too hostile for money. A YouTube channel, the link. This be us. I'm gonna get Rubin to bunny hop for me, okay? LOL. I'm gonna teach him D-Thang hop. I don't even know what half of this means. D-Thang
hop. All right, one thing to help Meek Mill recover his career, anybody, please take his Twitter. Take his Twitter only when he needs to put out music or anything like that, the promo, something like that. That's the only time you need to post on Twitter. Somebody take his phone though, and somebody else post for him. Do shows and all this stuff. Keep on doing your life, but that's the key thing to making your career back. Not to where it used to be, but better than what it is now.
The fact that he said we used to do this in prison and we used to make killers do bunny hops, this is one of those things where if Meek was right next to me and showed me the phone, anybody really, I'm looking at him like, dog, that is not what you want to send out. You used to make killers do bunny hops. What? What are you talking about? And then I'm going to get Rubin to bunny hop. And this is the thing. Him getting Michael Rubin to bunny hop for him has no effect on Michael Rubin. Most people don't even know Michael Rubin is the owner of the company that he owns.
The clip of him doing bunny hops got so much attention that it resurfaced amid the Diddy allegations a while back as well. To make matters worse, this wasn't an isolated incident, as Lil Baby was another rapper who was a victim of one of Rubin's house bets that caught people's attention, and not for a good reason.
What's the bet?
I go to sleep 5 to 4, you get 6 braids.
6 braids coming off your head. 6 braids off the back of your head if you fall asleep from 5 p.m. until 4 a.m. My entire head. Bet.
Bets between friends aren't unheard of. But the eerie part of all of this is that we never even seen Rubin lose. It leads us to ask questions like, is Lil Baby really gonna get into Rubin's bed and shave his hair? And if Meek lost that bet to anyone else, is he really letting his homies post the video online? The answer is obvious, and the truth becomes crystal clear when we see Kanye, one of the most high self-esteemed humans to ever walk Earth at this point, get talked down.
The most high self-esteemed person on this
This is
earth.
what really happens with Peter, Evie, Kanye. What we do on our way to a Vogue event, ribs and french fries.
So what does Rubin have to say about all this? Well, he'll tell you that these are all mutually beneficial relationships, and the business mogul knows he can get to these successful artists for tips and ideas as well.
You were asking about Baby before, like, does he come to me for advice? He comes to me for business advice all the time, but I go to him for advice on stuff too. I'll ask him like, hey, will this, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
While this could be true, the real benefit for Rubin, besides whatever freaky stuff is going on behind closed doors, is the marketing leverage that hip-hop superstars give him and his companies. And rather than being a pushover guy paying these rappers to be around and do his bidding, it really seems like Rubin is the guy calling the shots. Even in this incident with Meek Mill on a private jet.
Mike, get up off me, dog. You heard me, Mike?
Get up off me, man. Look, this man on my legs, y'all. Get this man.
Don't be making fun of me when I'm drunk. You're gonna get another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, the drunken hug thing.
You two drunken hugs are coming tonight.
This isn't all speculation either, as we've seen him utilize a culture shifter like Lil Baby to promote his Fanatics gear on the track Merch Madness, a campaign where tons of merchandise was given out to fans. These rappers were playing chess, but Michael Rubin had them in checkmate from the beginning, pulling rappers into business endeavors and still capitalizing on their influence. His use of rappers as pawns is enough to make you speculate his intentions, but the real red flag begins to dissolve whenever we look at his more elevated social life, specifically his strange white parties.
You gotta investigate this Michael Rubin party a little bit further. Y'all don't think it's a little strange?
I ain't gonna lie, and I would go to a Michael Rubin white party just to see what's going on, just to see what the talk is about, just to decipher all this shit. Because some people talking about it's cool, some people talking about it's weird, some people talking about there's something going on. So I'm gonna be the one to find out. I'm gonna be the one to find out. You feel me? I'm gonna be the one to find out. I try to take out the make myself look cool, but didn't work out that way.
What?
What? Help me out.
The consistency of the A-list celebrities that go there.
The hugging. What other party in the universe do you see that many of that level A-list people at the same spot at the same time?
This annual Michael Rubin white party isn't what it sounds like, but might just be as strange and worth investigating, and most of all, disturbing in its nature. This high-profile gala is littered with every A-list person on the planet. Even people far outside of Rubin's circle will show out for what is possibly the biggest elite social event every single year. We're talking Tom Brady to Jay-Z, Kevin Hart to Kim Kardashian, even Drake was recently seen there, looking like bro was absolutely done with everything happening to him lately. Basically, anyone considered an elite society is invited and most certainly attends these packed parties. Of course, the first assumptions from outsiders were Illuminati comparisons, and some even pointed to Rubin himself as the leader. There's even an eerie resemblance to this crowd and Jared Leto's cult. To even be considered for an invite, you have to be at the top of the famous profiles. So it makes sense that anyone would want to show out. But what's strange is the presence of guys like Baby, Quavo, and Meek, who are all far below the status of these other guests. Their attendance seems a little bit out of place, and questions got raised, especially when they found themselves in more questionable scenarios at the hands of Michael Rubin.
Now, what in the is this? Ain't no
like, see, I wouldn't even let nobody take a picture of me like this. And if the picture was took, you have to beat my ass to get that shit, like, took down. I mean, like, put up. Like, you have to beat my ass to get that shit put up. Because ain't no way, like, this, like, bro, you got to think about what Lil Baby raps about. And to see shit like this, like, look at him for, he joking, and then, like.
Now, what in the is this? Ain't no fucking way. These motherfuckers got him in a reverse Oreo, and he's showing all.
Is that Kyle Kuzma?
That guy, Michael Rubin, he needs culture. I listened to him on a podcast, and all he talked about was trying to sell to culture. Well, here's the thing: you having $1 billion don't matter if niggas don't fuck with you. So, what is it in your benefit to do? Befriend niggas. Befriend the hottest, like throw the best parties. Who knows how much money? He probably lost millions off of this party.
With the Diddy Party activities coming to light, it's no surprise that people are beginning to question what goes on at the Michael Rubin estate. With culture floating around Puff Circle just 20 years ago, the same strange occurrences seem to be unfolding around a 51-year-old billionaire, especially given his relationships with the top of hip-hop. And now we're left to wonder why what lies ahead seems both familiar and uncertain.
And the crazy thing is, it's always a crazy picture after every all-white party. Isn't it like every year, every two times a year or something? It's always a crazy picture every year. This year was Drake. Last year, I think it was Lil Baby. Last year, that year before, I think it was Meek Mill. I think Meek Mill got it 2 years in a row.
What the? That says Rubin on his underwear, yo. I just noticed that. Yo, Michael Rubin got the hose. Is that real?
Yo, that's crazy.
Please tell me that's a worm.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. Yeah, Michael Rubin got a chokehold on this shit like I ain't seen somebody have a chokehold on this.
You gotta. If you swing that way, you swing that way. But if you don't swing that way, you got another man's name on your ass, your butt. I'm not gonna say nothing else, y'all. I'm not, cause it's I really ain't got shit else to say about it.